Each of us has been in a situation where we needed to do something, but getting started seemed like an impossible step. That is completely normal. When faced with a large, overwhelming task, the brain begins to seek escape in easier solutions. This is why, in these situations, we end up either doing nothing or doing something easier instead. In this video, we'll see how you can use the Swiss cheese method to overcome procrastination and get started on that task you have been putting off. Productivity expert Alan Lakin describes the Swiss cheese method in his book, How to Get Control of Your Time and Life. He says that whenever there is a big task ahead, the best way to get moving is to turn that task into Swiss cheese by poking a few holes in it. You poke a new hole each time you perform an instant task, an activity that is simple and takes 5 minutes or less to complete. Let's see how Ted does it and the benefits he gets. This is Ted. Ted had a big birthday party at his apartment last night. His family is coming to visit today. He needs to clean the apartment before they arrive. Ready to start, he enters the living room. The place is a real mess. There are a lot of glasses and plates of leftover food on the coffee table, a couple of pizza boxes and some broken glass in the corner, champagne stains on the floor. There are so many things Ted needs to do to make the apartment clean. Pick up the dirty dishes, collect the trash, mop the floor, wipe the glass, and vacuum the apartment. Ted becomes overwhelmed. His brain immediately starts looking for other things to do instead, like taking a shower or walking the dog. But then Ted decides to at least start by turning this task into Swiss cheese. He imagines that cleaning a room is one big block of Swiss cheese. It seems like too much to eat in one bite. So instead, he will make a few holes in that big block. Even if he doesn't eat the whole cheese, it will get smaller and less intimidating to continue later. Ted is looking for a simple and short instant task that he can do right now. He takes the glasses and puts them in the washer. It took him 3 minutes. On his way back, he grabs a garbage bag from the kitchen drawer and throws the leftover food in it. 5 minutes are up, and he already feels better. 2 instant tasks are completed. Now that the plates and forks are free, he decides to do one more short and simple instant task before taking a shower. He picks them up, puts them in the dishwasher, and turns it on. Ted has been working for less than 10 minutes. He has already punched 3 holes in this large block of cheese. It did not take much effort, but with each instant task and with each hole, the big task got smaller. Now it will be easier to do the rest of the work and finish the job. He goes to the shower, content with his progress. And that is the point of the Swiss cheese method. When you have a big task in front of you, a big block of cheese, chewing it all at once feels intimidating and scary. But when you decide to do something, even a small thing, you have already done the hardest part. You have already started. Now let's analyze how Ted went about his cleaning to better understand the method. As you can see in Ted's example, each instant task he performed was short and simple. But you may have noticed a few other things as well. For example, Ted didn't sit down and plan the order in which he would complete the tasks. He didn't weigh the benefits of each task, such as whether picking up glasses or vacuuming would be more beneficial. He looked around, picked whatever he felt like doing at the moment, and did it. So we can conclude the following about instant tasks. They are short, 5 minutes or less. They are simple, require little effort. Their order is not important. Their benefit is not important either, as long as it leads to the ultimate goal. Based on this, we can see that the idea of the Swiss cheese method is just start. Don't plan, don't overthink. Just do what you feel like doing in the moment. This way of acting will get you into the flow very quickly. And once you are in the flow, it is much easier to move on to the more difficult parts of the task and get them done as well. If Ted wanted to do vacuuming in the beginning, it would take him much longer to get started. He would have to force himself to do it because it takes more effort. Instead, he started with a few simple tasks. Once he got into a flow, he could move on to the more difficult ones. For the same reason, it's important to remember one more thing about instant tasks. If the task fails, don't do it twice. Earlier, Ted decided to put the leftover food in the garbage bag. Let's say he opened the drawer and there were no bags left. In the beginning, it is hard to stay motivated when things do not go as planned. So instead of trying to do it anyway, Ted should find another instant task to do to stay in the flow. Later, when he has punched a few holes, it will feel more natural to tackle the more difficult parts that might cause him to give up if he tried to do them in the beginning. Now that we've seen how to use this method in practice, let's look at its benefits. At the end of the video, we will also share an extra tip that we use. Swiss cheese technique shows how to overcome procrastination. By applying it, you will be able to start any big task. Your point of view will change as well. You will no longer have the feeling that if you do not have 2 to 3 hours a day to do the whole task, it is not worth starting. Instead, you are going to start looking for 5 to 10 minutes whenever you can to punch a couple of holes in your big task. Task after task, hole after hole, and biting into the rest of the cheese isn't so hard anymore. Or, as Alan Lakeen says in his book, after you've made 10 or 12 holes in an overwhelming task, you may discover with delight that the task turns out to be much less difficult than you'd expected. At the end, here is our extra tip. The other good way to punch a few holes in a big task is to set an alarm to go off in 5 or 10 minutes and then start immediately. With such a short time frame, you know there is no time to lose. You naturally get a little competitive and start working actively. You will often be surprised at how much you can actually accomplish in such a short time. And even more often, you will decide to set the timer for another 5 minutes. You are already in the flow and have no desire to stop. Every time we pack or unpack, we practice this method. Even though it feels like a lot of effort, it usually takes less than 15 minutes. One instant task after another, a few holes here and there is no more cheese left. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you would like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. Thank you. See you in the next one.